everyone, it's Bree. Welcome back to my channel. Let's get into today's topic. So this video is going to be about how George Mason, good old George Mason, so apparently they've decided to cancel spring break for the spring of 2021. I heard that other colleges did the same thing, but I can't confirm that because I didn't look into that and I didn't see any like concrete information on that. So let me know in the comments down below if you guys go to a different college, and let me know if spring break is canceled for you guys too. But yeah, George Mason canceled spring break, and it's George Mason, and it's crazy because you're gonna have people who are like die-hard supporters of George Mason, which is nothing wrong with that. I mean, you know, if you go to a school and you really love that school, you're going to, you know, defend it, and you're going to view it in a different way than maybe everybody else would. But for me, I can only speak from my personal experience. I feel like George Mason is not good with communicating with like certain changes. Now, they have gotten a little bit better because with this whole pandemic, they've had to, you know, communicate and be transparent with what's going on so people can properly plan out, you know, what they're gonna do and stuff in terms of, you know, living on campus or just, you know, visiting the campus and things like that. But for me, like, George Mason hasn't been good with communicating about big changes. And I read pretty much every email that comes in. Yeah, like I pretty much read every single email that comes in because I know there's probably going to be something of importance in those emails. And so, you know, but I say that to say that the way they kind of announced spring break being canceled was interesting, because the way that people found out about spring break being canceled wasn't from an email, and it wasn't from any announcement. It was actually from a survey. And I'm trying to remember, did I even get this survey? I think I did. But it was kind of one of those emails that you kind of brush it aside, because it was about a survey. Like, normally I don't really take many surveys unless it's like of like huge importance. But it was kind of one of those emails where, like, I think it was like it had the survey like somewhere in the middle or towards the end. It wasn't like in the subject line or anything. But anyway, there was a survey that came out about spring break. And basically the survey was to ask, like, how do we want this new semester or this next semester to function? And it gave you 3 options. I wish I had, you know, hold on, because I think what would it be on? It'd be on the government page, but I don't know what their oh, here it is. Because they usually always put a post up too. And that's the thing too. I don't think they put a post up like immediately when the survey came out. I think they waited a little bit, but I could be wrong. But let me see if I can find the post that they put up. Because normally on the student government page, they'll put a post up and they'll have the options like laid out and explained in a post so people can understand you know, what's going on with that. Why can't I? Let me see. I forget how early it was. Oh, here we go. Okay. Let's see. I don't know if I may put these up on screen. We'll see if I feel like it. But yeah, so they basically have put out a survey, and so they gave us 3 options to choose from. And they've done this before. I forget for what, but they've done these surveys before where they'll ask the students, like, hey, out of these options, what would be the best for you guys. I think it had to do with housing. I think the last survey had to do with housing and like how they were going to work out how many people lived on campus and you know, all that stuff. But this was about spring semester. So the three options that I could put this on screen. Okay. The three options that they have for spring semester for us to vote for and choose from. Number 1 says start as previously scheduled, eliminate spring break. The spring semester would end a week earlier. So basically you would start the semester when you normally would start it, but they just would take a week off the semester. The second option is delay the start by 1 week, eliminate spring break, and the spring semester would end as previously scheduled. So basically you would start later than usual, but then it would end where it would end how it would normally end, you know, in general. But yeah, so as you can see, number 1 and number 2 both have eliminate spring break. Number 3, start as scheduled, eliminate spring break, end as scheduled, and select days off throughout the semester. So basically the semester would go as planned. It would start and end when it normally does, but then you just would get, I guess, random days, maybe like 1 or 2 days each month to actually have off, so you get like some type of break. But as you can see with all three options, none of those options involve spring break. And it just was interesting to me that they thought people were just going to see that and let it slide. I'm looking now, and under this post alone, it has 141 comments because people were really upset that out of all of these options, all of them consistently had that we don't have a spring break. And that was kind of like the first, like, that's kind of how they introduced us not having spring break, was through a survey. And then of course with everybody being outraged, Mason comes up with this email letting people know that spring break won't happen. And I noticed they do this a lot. They wait for people to get upset over something to then actually address it in detail. And I don't know if that's done on purpose or not. It might just always be like poor timing. But you know, even with the whole Calico situation with the company that was doing the testing, you know, people found out that Calico was like, you know, a shady business. It didn't seem that legit, and it wasn't until all of that social media backlash came that George Mason decided to address what Calico was specifically being used for in an email. And it's crazy because even on that, because I made a video actually talking about the Calico situation, you have a whole bunch of people who dislike that, which is why I try not to talk about George Mason too much, because again, there are some people that are so obsessed with Mason, and again, it's fine to be like that, because again, if this is a school that you chose and it's a school that you love, of course you're going to defend it. But it's weird that you have people who, like, if you, it's crazy, because if you say anything that's opposing George Mason, you're always going to have those people who get mad as if they work for Mason when really they're just a student just like you. But they'll get mad seeing people say anything negative about Mason, and they're quick to defend it. But anytime I've ever said anything about Mason that was negative, I always get like a ton of dislikes. But then it's crazy too, because then I made one video which I just decided to take off the channel because it just was too much. It was too much negativity. I lost a friend over it, so the video is no longer on my channel. But I made a video that wasn't even really in support of Mason. I just was saying that I understood their point of view when it came to a particular thing that they had done, and that video had so many dislikes and so many people were upset about it, and I got attacked for it, and it just was crazy. But yeah, so people have very strong opinions about Mason, and I get that part of it is because like money is involved. Like when you're investing into a school, like you want that school to do right by you, which is why I like to talk about these things and bring it to people's attention. Not trying to attack anybody, not trying to be, you know, negative or whatever. I just like to talk about it, and I like to express my opinion on what's going on. So yeah, we're not going to have a spring break. And I think that I don't think that benefits anyone. Like literally, like eliminating spring break doesn't benefit anyone in this situation. It doesn't benefit the students. It doesn't benefit the professors, and it doesn't benefit the school. And I'll tell you why. So obviously, their excuse for eliminating spring break is that it'll reduce travel, and it'll help people stay safe during that time where people usually go out of town, go out of state, and they might potentially bring back the virus from a location that has high COVID numbers. Now, let me tell you why this is a horrible idea across the board. First of all, and I actually go into students last because that's gonna I want to speak the most on that, so I'll speak on them last. The reason why it's not gonna benefit the school to eliminate well, is it though? Because if you eliminate spring break, right, you have more people staying on campus. Potentially, you have more people possibly eating at the dining hall. I'm trying to think of from a monetary standpoint, because that's all Mason cares about is the money. They don't really care about. I mean, yeah, most schools, they only really care about the money. So I'm trying to think, does eliminating spring break really? I mean, sure, maybe. Actually, I take that back. Eliminating spring break and trying to make people stay on campus and use like your services, use the dining hall, use the buildings, whatever, that could potentially help them maybe gain back some of that money that they lost previously when people had to leave campus. So yeah, maybe it does help them in that sense. So fine, I'll take that back. But the professors, it doesn't help the professors, because believe it or not, and this was really shown this semester in particular, professors need a break too. Professors, they get stressed out. They need a break. I'm sure everyone has had multiple professors who take forever to grade assignments and get assignments back to you, because maybe they have a lot going on. They're teaching a lot of different classes. They're having a hard time, with time management, maybe. Because at the end of the day, like, these professors are, they're human just like us, and they have things going on, and you never know. Like, I've actually heard of some professors catching COVID too, but still having to figure out how to, teach and grade and all that stuff while being sick. And so I don't think that it helps the professors at all to not give them a break, because we all know that sometimes when professors get stressed out like that and they don't have a break, they take it out on the students, and then we end up suffering from it because they have all that stress, and they might end up misgrading something, or they're just very short tempered. A lot of my professors have been very short tempered, especially like the past semester, because there just was a lot going on in the world that they weren't used to. And so, because a lot of professors too, like they thrive the most in a classroom setting. And so with this online structure, a lot of them have been trying to force what's normally done in the classroom into like an online format, and it just hasn't been working out, and it's making them frustrated, and they're looking at us like, why can't you guys just get it together? But they don't understand that we have a lot going on as well. But again, for the students, let's talk about the students. To me, a lot of these decisions that Mason is making, and a lot of the decisions that a lot of these colleges and universities are making, is kind of proving more and more that y'all don't care about us. Like, y'all don't care about us at all. Like, at all. It's not making any sense to me why you would eliminate spring break. Like, it just, like, it's just, and I know that the school doesn't necessarily have power over professors, and they have some power. I mean, obviously they do have power because they hired them and they paid them and they expect them to do their job. But I guess in terms of how professors want to teach their class, a lot of times professors have majority of the power of how they want their classes to be run, what books they want to use, how they want their classes to be formatted, stuff like that. It's not like in high school where you have like the state kind of mandating what you're learning. The professors pretty much have control over what they want you to do in terms of assignments. And I can say that for a lot of us, our professors are already kind of doubling and tripling the work because they think that that's the only way to effectively teach students in a virtual setting. It's just give them a ton of busy work and have them working on stuff 24/7 with no breaks. And so like imagine like we're gonna probably go through that again, regardless of all the complaints, all the teacher evaluations. I mean, I would hope not, but it just seems like these people don't care. The professors don't care, the school doesn't care. It doesn't seem like they actually care about our mental well-being. All they do is they put an email out. They're like, oh, here are these resources. Here's CAPS. Go to CAPS. You'll be fine. And for those of you who don't know, CAPS is the Counseling and Psychological Services. And everybody knows that CAPS, for the most part, doesn't really help students in the way that they need help. Not saying they don't help at all, but a lot of people have complained. Not just me. A lot of people, trust me, complain about CAPS not being effective. Okay, so don't come at me in the comments about that. But yeah, so I said all that to say, like, we need a mental break. Like, human beings need a mental break. And for you to take away it, and the only break, mind you, like the only break that we have in the spring, for you to take that away and have us working non-stop for, I shouldn't even count January because we're only going to be working for a week, so I won't count January, but for February, March, April, and a little bit of May, so about 4 months, right? About 4 months you have us working non-stop. And I don't know about y'all, but most of my, well, not even most, but I've always had like assignments and stuff due throughout the week and on the weekend. So it's not even like, oh, okay, like I have school Monday through Friday, but then the weekend I could take a break. No, it's non-stop every single day, doing assignments, taking exams, studying, Zoom calls, meetings. Like group projects. Oh my God, I don't even want to think about group projects right now after what I went through in the fall. But it's a lot. And for you to say that okay, but let's go back, right? So their reasons for doing this is to eliminate the risk, reduce risks in terms of COVID, and potentially reduce travel. This is not going to work. And I don't want people to get sick. I don't want people to catch it, especially with this new strand out. But I would love to see the look on Mason's face when they realize that taking away spring break did absolutely nothing. You cannot control adults. You can't. If people want their spring break, they're going to take their spring break. They're going to take it. People are still going to go on vacation. Whatever is open around that time, like whatever country says, yeah, sure, you can come over and vacation with us. Like, we're not going to close our borders like Canada. People are going to take that. People are going to go on vacation. People are going to go see their families. People are going to leave. You can't make people not leave. And it's the same thing with these professors. Sure, you can say like that we don't get an official break, but again, professors decide what assignments are due and stuff like that. I would put money on it that there are going to be professors who are going to either push off assignments a whole week or just not assign anything just from their own free will. Like they'll be like, you know what, you guys deserve a break, like I'm not going to assign anything this week, and they're allowed to do that. So I guarantee you this whole getting rid of spring break is not going to work. Students and professors still have the choice of not doing any work for a week, and I'm pretty sure that a lot of professors are going to take that into consideration, because again, they need the break too. They don't want to keep assigning stuff that they have to grade. So I'm sure that you know, that's going to happen. Again, students are still going to do what they want to do. If they want a break, they will take a break. They'll just take their laptop with them. You know, I'm sure people will still go to Zoom class in Florida. Like, like taking away spring break, it's not gonna do nothing. And I don't know, like, I just hate that they really did this. And they did this in the midst of seeing how many people were struggling, seeing how many people were dropping their classes because it was too much. So this next semester, this next semester is gonna be rough. It's definitely gonna be rough. Yeah. But y'all, I mean, I can imagine how most of y'all feel, but please, if you go to Mason specifically, but even if if you're in college in general, because this doesn't really apply to high school, middle school. So if you're in college, let me know in the comments down below what you guys think about eliminating spring break, and if you think that is actually a good idea, or if you agree that getting rid of spring break isn't necessarily going to stop the numbers from rising. And yeah, give this video a big thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And again, please comment. I want more comments, especially for people that I know. So yeah, make sure you guys comment down below, and I will see you guys in the next video.